So when you just don't feel like painting, it could actually be that your artistic voice is trying to tell you something. And what's really important to do at that point is to give yourself permission to just let it be and maybe stay out of your studio for a little bit. Hey everyone, welcome to Whole Artist Mastery. I'm Marianne Mitchell. And I've been doing this professional thing for decades now. And so in this decade, what I feel most passionate about is sharing all the wealth and expertise that I've amassed over these years with you to help you grow as a whole artist. So if you like what you see, you can help the Whole Artist Mastery YouTube channel grow by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Thanks so much. What happens when you feel this growing inertia inside you when you step into your studio and you feel like, I just have nothing in me. I'm tired of doing what I'm doing. I feel zero inspiration and I feel stuck, and all of the above. You could go on. I could go on and on and on, but you get the general picture. And so many people that I'm working with, mentorship artists and beyond, feel really down, and like, especially since they're in an active program becoming whole artists, they feel like, gee, I'm wasting my time if I'm not painting every single week. But it's actually just the opposite. When you feel this sense of, oh gosh, I just don't feel like painting. I just have nothing left in me. My life has been out of control. I have family responsibilities, career responsibilities, personal things I have to attend to. You know, the list goes on forever and ever, right? And all that stuff gets in our way. So, and there's really nothing we can do about it. The one thing we can avoid is feeling guilty that we're doing all that other stuff instead of painting when we feel like we're supposed to be painting. But that feeling I'm supposed to be painting now is the very thing that's going to completely squash your artistic energy. So what do we do to get back on track? Well, there are a lot of different things. Everybody has a different way. So I'm going to share a couple of ways that I help myself get on track. And the first and foremost is walking. Now, I've talked about this in other videos, and the number videos are currently a little absent from my brain. So I'll put what numbers you can watch for hearing more about how to get back into your practice. But for me, even a 10-minute walk can help. But a longer walk can help me kind of reconnect with what I'm about on both the intellectual level as well as the emotional level and the sensory level. And that's key to opening that door back up for you, because it's usually in a way that's other than intellectual that gets you cooking again. Other ways are to have conversations with people, and that's a huge part of my practice with working with artists, is having conversations to kind of work through, well, why are you blocked, and what's going on in your life, and to give yourself permission to feel that way, because it's that permission that can also help open up the channel for you to go back into production mode, because you feel like you just, you feel it actually kind of pulsing through your hand. You're ready to get your brushes in hand and to paint again. And, on the other side of that is you just can't put them down. And that's a whole other conversation. Another way is to truly take a break. And so what do I mean by that? Well, there are different ways for different people to take breaks. And in this particular filming day, it is August 4th, 2025, and I'm about to go on my annual August retreat to Monhegan Island, which is off the coast of Maine, the northeast of the United States. And it's a place that just I feel such a spirit connection to, both the kind of people who go there, the landscape, the weather, the mystery, the truth, the elemental truth of the landscape elements, the ocean. It really defies words, which is why I'm going to stop trying to explain it in words. And many of my paintings are inspired by being there. And so I'm going to show you a couple of pictures from the island and also a couple of the paintings that were inspired by or indirectly inspired by or started in Monhegan. So it's a place for me to recharge and to also do some think tanking about what I'm trying to do as an artist, which is also so important for all of us to do, to think, to feel, to spend some time just traveling in your ways of thinking about who you are as a person, what matters to you, what is it that you want your work to express. Because those inner conversations are key to generating work that's truly meaningful, both for yourself as well as for those who are looking at it. Now, I recognize that many, many people are unable to, for whatever reason, to go to a special place. But there are other ways to go to a special place within yourself. I actually discovered this when I was living in Japan in 1982, and there, coming from a relatively an environment where there were less people to an environment where I think there was never a time, except maybe in my bedroom where I was sleeping, that I was without seeing people. I mean, there's just people all the time. And there's not a lot of space, physical space, to just stare out into space and not see anybody. So what I learned to do was go vertically within myself for that psychic space, for that expansive openness, rather than feeling it in visual scenery that was surrounding me, like the ocean or the plains or the mountains, long vistas. I could create those long vistas within myself, from the top layer going all the way down to this place within me that is without words. Some people might call that meditation. It's just occurring to me. But when I was there, I literally felt like I was going within, I was expanding within vertically. So meditation is another form. Or you can use my visual metaphor for just going further and further, deeper down vertically within inside yourself to find that quietness, that think tank time for you. I also want to recommend a great podcast that Krista Tippett, who is the brainchild and the interviewer for many years on the NPR station, or on the show that NPR sponsored, called On Being. And I believe it was in 2008 or 2012, I honestly can't remember, where she interviewed John O'Donoghue, who was an Irish poet and a philosopher. And the title of this interview is The Inner Landscape of Beauty. And I'm going to put a link down below here for you to check it out, because he talks about how to find this inner beauty within inside yourself if you're unable to have it surrounding you. So if you're in that space where finding a physical, beautiful landscape or cityscape is difficult for you to do, listen to that podcast and try the inner vertical experience or meditation or walking. I would love to hear from you down below how you find that inner psychic space to recharge, to regain your sources of inspiration, to think tank about who you are as a person and how that influences what it is that you want to say in your work and how your work is meaningful to you. And to give you just a little snippet of my big think tank idea that I'm going to be walking and staring out into the great expanse of the ocean and thinking about is this. I truly believe that the process of making abstract art can change the world. And the way this can happen is by changing each individual one at a time, because that's how change on a global level happens. So I really look forward to sharing the details of my think tank time so that I can really articulate to you why I believe the practice of making abstract art can change the world and how it can do it. And then what we can do as whole artists to help make that happen. So I look forward to sharing that with you, and I really hope that you look forward to hearing it.